Hey, you guys, what's going on? What's going on, guys? Wait till you guys load in. Talk to you briefly. I'm gonna wait till you guys load in. I'm gonna talk to you briefly. What's going on? Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. So today, it was pretty adventurous today. Uh, what I want to talk about on this particular live, guys, and I promise I won't take a whole hell of a lot of your time, but we just got canceled today. My company, we just got fired from a contract that we had for quite some time. And really, what happened with this contract, and that's why I say we got fired for a good reason, is that many times, guys, once you have these contracts, when a company decides to start slashing budgets, like I said on previous videos, the first vendor or the first company that they usually go to is the security company, whoever's handling like the security, that type of thing, and the cleaning companies. Okay, so we was approached today via email to come in and talk to the contact person. So I went in, I spoke to the contact person, and they wanted to slash what they were paying us. They wanted to slash it significantly. Now, I feel like what they were paying us was pretty reasonable, pretty stable, pretty reasonable, right? So I wasn't willing to take a pay cut. So essentially, what they did, or yeah, what they did was let us go. And I wanted to come with this video because, guys, for those of you that have contracts already, those of you that's already in the business, do not. How should I put this? Do not. Do not be afraid to turn down a deal, right? If you feel like what they're paying you is the best offer, the best you can do for them, and they say, well, if you don't go lower, we're gonna have to can your company or cancel your company. Don't be afraid to be canceled. Okay. Um, it shows to me. It shows a level of integrity for your company and for you. You know, for those of you out there that's growing your business and things like that, and money is a factor. Um, you might kind of take some of anything. You might do whatever, take whatever job or whatever you have to do. But once you get a little stability and your company is really running on autopilot, it's running by itself, everything is adding up, you're going to get those companies that come to you, like I say, they want to slash the cost of what they're paying you. If you feel like you can negotiate a lower price, then by all means give it a shot and keep the contract. I'm not against that. But if you feel like what they're paying you is reasonable, okay, and they come to you with the same offer, they want to slash, what they're paying you significantly, then what you need to do is just allow yourself to be fired, or you need to resign. Okay, so that's what happened to me today with one of my contracts. We got canned, we got fired, and that's why I say it was for a good reason. Okay, I'm not hurt about, and it was one of my biggest accounts. Right, it was a pretty sizable account. Um, they paid us thousands a month, but the thing is, what they were asking for, and what they were already paying for, in terms of service and what we do, I just couldn't do it for the price, considering taxes, um, supplies, everything, right? Employees, overhead. You still have to make a profit. Like my goal is to make a profit, not just as business as a whole, but per account. I need to make some type of profit per account that I pick up, right? So that's why I say if you guys have contracts, a lot of times these companies will come to you and ask you to take a significant cut, um, so they can balance out their books and balance their bottom line out. but then your company take a hit. Okay, so I don't want you guys to be afraid to take a hit too. I don't want you to be afraid to say, you know what, I can't do it for that dollar amount, or I can't do it, that's too low, or I feel like what you're paying us currently is on the right track. Then they just have to go with somebody else. Okay, which essentially is what this company is going to have to do. I just wasn't able to take anything lower than what we were already getting paid for the amount of work that we were already doing. So, like I said, I wanted to come and explain that to you guys, because like you will get that. You will get that as you grow your business. You will get companies to come to you and ask you, can we pay you this, or can we slash the cost of this? Now, sometimes they even ask you, can you decrease the amount of employees you have? Now, that's okay. I mean, if you have to let someone go, you let someone go, as long as you're still getting paid at the same dollar amount. But like I say, when a company comes to you and approach you in regards to having you slash the cost that they're currently paying you to fit their bottom line, to fit their budget, if you can do it, do it. But do not be afraid and hassle yourself and lose money, because that's what's going to happen. You're still going to have to pay these employees. You're still going to have to pay these taxes. You're still going to have to pay, all this overhead that you have, and you still have to make a profit, yet you just took a cut. Okay? So that just doesn't make sense to me. If you're just joining, guys, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Go ahead, like, share, and subscribe if you're just joining. Like I say, a lot of times companies will, and that's another reason I like to tell people, like when I lose one account, I like to bounce back with two. Okay? When I lose one account, I like to bounce back with two. So I'm going to bounce back. It's just wired. It's just in my DNA. I'm going to bounce back from this particular account. But that's why I tell you guys to get a lot of the smaller to medium-sized accounts, because you don't have to deal with a lot of the politics, a lot of the overhead, your dentist offices, your doctor's offices, your funeral homes, your schools, your chiropractor's offices, your clinics, your small churches, right? Your hair salon, gyms, whatever the case is. These places are relatively small. A lot of them, relatively small, and you don't have to deal with the big hoopla that come with the political side of doing big business. Like this is like a factory we were doing, right? And I felt like they were paying us good enough what they were paying us. Okay, and then they come to us, they want to slash it. We just couldn't do it for what they were asking for. Okay, but like I said, as long as you guys have those smaller to medium-sized accounts, you can always depend upon those and rely upon those that help you in a crisis like this, like in a time where you might lose a big budget account. You still have those smaller to medium-sized accounts to kind of keep you afloat until you make up for that loss. Okay, so hopefully this is making sense. Another thing I want to talk about, guys, is pulling the trigger. So many of you guys are afraid to ask for the sale. If you're going door to door and you practicing what I tell you, a lot of you are not getting your contracts because you're not asking for the sale. Okay, when you do the walkthrough, it's all in the way you word it, but you have to ask for the sale. Okay, I always tell people to try to assume the sale, assume you're gonna get it, and it's all in your verbiage, and ask for the sale. A lot of you guys are doing a walkthrough and you're not doing the follow-ups. That's why you're not getting the contracts. Again, I got a great deal of emails over the last few days about that. A lot of you are not investing in yourself. You're being stingy. You have a little money, whether you're working and you have a little side budget or whatever. You guys are not investing in business cards, flyers, shirts, hats, paraphernalia, whatever. You guys are not investing in yourself, not investing in your brand, not investing in your company. Okay? When I first started out, I gave off the presentation of a franchise. They thought I was with a franchise and I was independent. That's because I was polished enough. Let me see here. George says, does that type of negotiating lower price have a contract stipulation? If you tell them no, I can't. No, no. Generally speaking, if they come to you and they want to slash the price, that's different than the contract. A lot of times, if you say no, they just cut you right then and there. They just want to end the contract right then and there. Okay, and at that point, you really don't have no say. You don't have nowhere to go at that point. Now, if you negotiate um, a lower price and you're willing to do it for a lower price, you would just make a you do an amendment to the contract that you have. That way, you don't have to go over a whole new contract, or you can do a whole new contract. Like whatever your contract is, you can kind of fill in the blanks, do a whole new contract for it, or you can just do an amendment to the contract that you already have. You just make sure you sign the date, they sign the date, and that's just as professional and just as uh, okay as just having a regular contract. So, but like I say, there's times where I took a lesser dollar amount from different clients, but it was feasible. It was okay, right? They wasn't slashing too much, okay. But this particular company, like I said, it's a big factory, like a plant. They were slashing quite a bit, right? And unfortunately, with my lifestyle, the budget, the everything, the employees, taxes, overhead, all of that stuff, I just wasn't able to do it for what they were asking for. Okay, somebody will, I'm sure, a franchise will come in and do it for that asking price, right? But Fabio Hart couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It's just unfortunate. So, like I said, don't be afraid to let that go. Okay. The only thing that I hate about it is that when you do, you know, make a decision like that, here you have employees that's out of work at this point. So you have to place them somewhere else. Now, luckily, I have other places that I can place these employees that work for this particular plant. It might not be in the immediate area. It may not be, um, what they're accustomed to, but it'll damn sure keep the paycheck coming through. It'll keep them working, okay? But sometimes you have situations like that where you just have them sitting on a roster, right? Because you don't have an account to send them to. You don't have another facility to send them to. So, that's always a bummer. And I've had situations like that before, where you just have people sitting and waiting for work, you know. So, like I say, sometimes that happens. But like I say, guys, man, make sure you invest in yourself. If you got a job, and I tell people this all the time, if you got a job, you should be utilizing that money well. Your habits need to stop. If you got bad habits, smoking, drinking, having fun, partying, whatever, clothes, shoes, video games, whatever, guys, I'm trying to tell you, you have to invest in yourself. You have to invest in your brand, invest in your company. Like I said, when I first started, I gave off the presentation of a franchise. They thought I was, like a franchise, and I was independent. That's because I was well versed, right? So, um, like I said, guys, just make sure that you guys keep your head on the swivel. Make sure you stay focused. Like I say, if you have a site that you can cut and you're okay with cutting, cool. By all means, give it a shot. Cut it, and stay there. But if you have an account, do not be afraid to walk away. You know, like I say, we've been making thousands and thousands of dollars at this particular facility. But based on the cut, I didn't find it feasible for us to stay there. So, most people would have been like, nah, I'd rather have something than nothing. But you have to consider your employees, you have to consider overhead, taxes. There's a lot of things, a lot of components, right? That's why you bid it what you bid it in the early on stages in the beginning. That's why you bid it what you bid it, right? Because you thought it was a fair amount, and that's why they apparently accepted because they thought it was a fair amount. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys go. I'll probably come back a little later on with a video this evening or tonight, I should say. I just wanted to tap in with you guys and let you know. Uh, do not be afraid to walk away from accounts. Do not be afraid to say no to a deal. Fabio Hart, the only person that could ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top, is you. Take care.